If you start to think in this way, you change the relationship that you have with failure, because you start to realize that you can start to use all of those challenges that crop up along the way as pointers. They help you to suss out what you actually believe. They show you how far your I can goes. Hello, and welcome to The Joy Within, where we're eliminating negativity one thought at a time. I'm Kyle Greenfield, and I'll be your guide as we explore how to be calm, confident, and happy in our crazy modern world. Join us each week as we dive into some of the biggest ideas in spirituality and personal development. We'll learn what it takes to gain control of your own mind, master your mood, and navigate the many ups and downs along the way. Visit thejoywithin.org to get started so you can become the calm, confident, and happy person you truly deserve to be. Hello, and welcome back to the Joy Within's podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that, on the surface, can seem quite basic, but if you let it, can dramatically change the way that you think about your life. And that's the power of a can-do attitude. I know that sounds cheesy, but hear me out, because I think this is an especially important topic as a follow-up to the last episode on goals. I think we often set goals that we don't necessarily believe that we can achieve. I know I've definitely been guilty of this many times in my life. I've set goals for things I really wanted, but that seemed so far off, I didn't actually believe that they were possible for me. Things that, theoretically, on paper, sounded great, but when it came down to it, I didn't think I could do. So even though I had the goal in the back of my mind, in my heart of hearts, I'd already written it off. I cut myself off from it before I'd even tried. And then just sort of went through the motions of doing it, obviously failing, and then saying to myself, well, I knew that wasn't really going to happen anyway, so no harm, no foul. And then I'd pick myself up, and I'd do it again. Maybe that sounds familiar. I think it's a self-protective mechanism that stems from a fear of failure. It's when we want something, and we want to, sort of, try to go get it, but really, subconsciously, we don't really try, because we don't want to be too disappointed if we don't win. And then we go around repeating the cycle over and over and over again without ever breaking through it. It can get really depressing. And that's where a can-do attitude comes in. It sounds silly, I know, but among other things, having a can-do attitude breaks you out of that negative, disheartening cycle. It can help you to feel more engaged and more committed, so you wind up being better. And when you fully embrace it, when you go deep into that positive mindset, the right attitude will get you to your goal without that fear of failure that holds us back. There are many levels to this. The reason I said the idea can seem basic is because, at least for me, a can-do attitude feels like the most cliché personal development idea ever. You can do it is almost an automatic response that we say whenever we see someone who's struggling. I mean, for me, I have seared into my memory from childhood all of those old posters from just about every school classroom. You know, the ones that have a big, bold, inspiring word against a dark background and image. And they say things like persistence or dream. And they often have a quote that says something like, think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And I remember when I was little, I'd see those literally all over the place and just kind of laugh to myself and think they were silly. Personally, I felt like the fact that this can-do ideal was so ubiquitous that it actually caused me to resist it. I blocked it out in a way. So I'd hear, you can do it. And I'd just think, yeah, okay, I know. And I'd roll my eyes. Maybe that's just me. But it felt so drilled into us, so quote-unquote obvious, that I never took the time to let it sink in, to really understand it. And the first level of understanding is really obvious, because if you truly think you can't do something, you won't even try. So at the simplest level, thinking you can, even softly, even passively, even if you have a lot of doubt, thinking you just might be able to do something, gets you off the couch. It gets you moving. But more often than not, it's not enough to get you to your goal. Inner growth doesn't have to be difficult. You just need a plan. You need clear actions that you can take so that whatever life throws at you, you have the ability to respond from the highest version of yourself. When you join Happiness University, you'll get that plan, with clear insights, simple actions, and expert guidance to support you every step along the way. It's free to get started, so head over to thejoywithin.org, log into Happiness University, and become the calm, confident, and happy person you truly deserve to be. For a long time, that's where I'd get stuck, in that sort of trying netherworld. The "you can do it" mantra seared into my mind, but without really believing any of it. But because I thought it was BS, I never allowed myself to go deeper into the concept. When I eventually started learning more about personal development, I realized that there's a secret key that makes the can-do mantra work. There's a way of using it that actually guarantees that you get the results that you want, without that fear of failure. Your progress towards your goals becomes risk-free, so to speak. That key is belief. 100% dedicated belief. Absolute conviction. Not the, yeah, I get it, okay, I can do it idea. I'm talking about pure faith. Faith in your own ability to reach your goals. Because when you have that level of conviction in yourself, in your own ability to be, to do, or to have whatever it is that you really want, there's something that shifts within you. You're no longer just going through the motions. You feel engaged and inspired, and you start to look past all of the obstacles and the challenges that would have stopped you before. You trigger your mind to find a way around them. And because you command it, because you've decided, because you know with absolute certainty that the obstacle is temporary, that you will get past it, you find a way. You just do it, and you ultimately get where you want to go. The problem that most of us have is our I cans only go halfway. Instead of saying to ourselves, yes, absolutely, I can do this no matter what, I will do it, we add these unspoken conditions to our beliefs. Instead of I can, it becomes I can unless. So we think things like, I can stick to my diet unless I have a bad day. I can get that promotion unless my boss decides to hate me. Or I can afford a bigger home unless the mortgage rates go up. It's that unless that causes us to miss our goals, time and time again. That unless tells us that our belief in the obstacles outweighs our belief in our own ability to surmount those obstacles. But if you let yourself go deep into the idea of I can, if you give yourself permission to believe it absolutely, even when appearances are to the contrary, you will always win, every single time. And if you start to think in this way, you change the relationship that you have with failure, because you start to realize that you can start to use all of those challenges that crop up along the way as pointers. They help you to suss out what you actually believe. They show you how far your I can goes, and point to exactly where that unless kicks in. And here's the key. When you identify what your unless is, then your job is to flip that unless so it becomes an even if. That's how you become empowered. That's how you build confidence, strength, and resolve. You say, I can stick to my diet, even if I have a bad day. I can get that promotion, even if my boss doesn't like me. I can afford a nicer home, even if the mortgage rates go up. Think about how different that feels. It's a different person saying those statements than the unless statements I mentioned earlier. When you make that shift from unless to even if, you change the game. Your resolve pushes you on. It drives you. It helps you focus and find a way where you just would have stopped before. Building that level of belief doesn't have to be difficult. It just takes practice. It takes having the right tools, the right philosophy that will overturn whatever limiting beliefs are standing in your way and replace those limiting beliefs with better, stronger, more empowered beliefs. And the stronger those empowered beliefs are, the more you will be able to achieve in whatever area is important to you. When you're ready to move into that higher level, the Joy Within is here to help. Our path in Happiness University will guide you to strengthen your I cans and flip those unlesses so they become even ifs. That's how you cultivate an inner voice that works for you, not against you. And if you follow our path, I promise you, your beliefs will shift, and you will move into a stronger, more empowered way of life. So, to wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a quote by Raymond Holliwell. This is from his book, Working with the Law. He writes, "Begin now to take a superior view of yourself, your life and your circumstances, and of things and persons in general. As you mentally perceive the better and greater, you will consciously and unconsciously reach out for the better and the greater. In other words, your thoughts, desires, words, and mental actions will gradually become filled with the spirit of progress, and your faculties will grow stronger, and your powers will increase. Catch the spirit of the words I can, and you have the key to the successful attitude. Know you can succeed, and proceed to think, live, and act in that strong conviction. You may search everywhere, anywhere, to discover the mystic secret of success, only to find that in the end it is all contained in these two little words, I can." Thanks for listening to today's episode. When you're ready to put these ideas to work in your own life, head over to thejoywithin.org and sign up for Happiness University. When you do, you'll have access to all of the tools and strategies you need to eliminate negative thoughts by tuning in to the Joy Within. You can follow a simple, step-by-step system to become the calm, confident, and happy person you deserve to be. Visit thejoywithin.org to get started today. And if you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love, because I think we can all use a little more joy in our crazy modern world.